The freehold of Valyria stretched across the very width of this world, from isles in Westeros to the painted mountains of the homelands, and all the way across the many deserts past marines. There was no part of Essos in the world beyond it, and not at the very least have its daily life affected by the sheer power of the dragons and the wealth of the blood of Valyria. Yet despite that power, one day it was all gone. Just past a century ago now, all the hills of Elyria exploded with fire, filling the air above with smoke and ash. The 14 flames brought forth molten rock, which crushed all beneath it and laid ruin to the mighty empire. Dragonglass rained from the sky, leaving behind a thick and horrid mist which burned the land. And once the earthquake ceased, the land had been shattered into uninhabitable islands, dead souls and empty homes. Only a smoking sea remains of that once prosperous land. Not all the dragons died, and not all the dragon riders. 12 years before the collapse, Daenerys the Dreamer had convinced her father to flee Valyria for Dragonstone, where dragons would rule, and House Targaryen would live. Until Aegon decided that an island was not enough for his ambitions, and soon all of Westeros came to heel. Other families would stake their claim in Westeros, Velaryon and Celtigar among them. Other Valyrians would flee to lands around Valyria, staking claim and fighting fiercely for whatever lands they could find. Others would attempt to reclaim the ashes, only for the weathers and the horrors left in Valyria to destroy them. One house, however, remained put. Granted the Isle of Elyria some 29 years before the Doom, House Cyntia would become the lords and protectors of this isle, which brought with it mighty wealth and a mightier keep. And for the next 120 years, House Cyntia would remain on the isle. As Valyria fell and all around them died, they would remain upon their island. As people asked for shelter, they kept their gates closed. Nothing would root them from their spot. Well, so they believed. House Cynder was a lesser house which also inhabited the Isle of Elyria, though in truth they lived more as noble guests and aides to the lords of the Isle rather than anything of true worth. Unlike House Cyntia, House Cynder was descended from dragon lords and had mighty strength in their bloods. It was, however, overshadowed by bastard origins, which in Valyrian culture prevented them from being anything more than a lowly and a meek house. They had essentially lived as well-kept and well-paid servants for House Cynthia for a century, their title and wealth maintained only through a tradition and a belief that high Valyrian blood was worth more to marry into than compared with diluted Illyrian blood, and for that reason, House Cynthia entertained them. The house was named for what they had been born from, the ashes of Valyria, the cinders of its doom. All of the main house had lived within Valyria and passed away in the doom, leaving behind only a bastard and his wife, to form their legacy, whatever that would be. 100 years later, only one Cynder remained, Raegar Cynder. His mother died in childbirth and his father died when he turned 12 due to a weak heart and a weaker liver, leaving the boy in the hands and care of Lord Danis Cyntia, serving him as a squire and ward, for if his blood died, Cyntia would be the only Valyrian blood left upon that isle with an ounce of nobility in it, and that simply wouldn't do. 4 years ago, the people of Elyria were stunned by the sights that brought fear and hope in equal measure. A dragon above their heads. It was a small thing, barely noticeable at first, yet it still breathed fire and spat at those who neared it. It was a wild beast, not even a year old. Too small and frail to do anything beyond fly and scream. Lord Danis Cyntia was not directly descended from Dragon Lord and seed, only Valyrian blood, so he saw no need for the beast, refusing for it to stay in Valyria, causing the beast to fly weakly towards shelter elsewhere. At that time it was only the size of a dog, and flew towards a cavern on the east side of the isle. Raegar seized this opportunity to make a name for himself. A year later he departed the keep, informing Lord Cyntia that he would prove himself by slaying the dragon and returning with its head. It was a stupid ambition and a worse idea from someone who was supposed to be a smart boy. He should have known a dragon at that age by that time 3 years old, still a great threat due to its sheer size. The Lord Cyntia thought it was a bad idea. In any other day, he would have stopped the boy, remembered the noble blood, but he'd become something of a nuisance with his attitude, and as such, Lord Cyntia ignored it, and bade him farewell on his quest off to fight this beast, expecting him never to return. But the creature did not seem to strike out or attack the young Raegar. Instead, the boy made a bond with the dragon. He spent time in the caves, most believing he died in the attempt to slay the dragon. But instead, he lived and learned with it, providing it with food he'd hunted from nearby shepherds. He'd not fully tamed it, but he'd done enough to teach the beast to fly with him upon his back. That alone gave him the means to pursue a new goal. He was no strong man or weak knight by any means, but he knew the history, and he knew how to talk. He knew how to talk very well, in fact. Diplomacy was the only thing the boy had to his name. Until now. He knew if he flew into Elyria on Dragonback, he would either walk out the city in flames and a title bestowed upon him, or, if he talked, he would get the title without bloodshed. He'd give Lord Danis a chance to meet. And so he flew that day across the island upon the back of the stray dragon, one that he had taken the name Majesty, and landed in the court of Lord Cyntia. Already there were many who had feared him or respect him for the sheer act of seeing a man upon dragonback. There were those who had come to the courtyard to witness this dragon, and a 19-year-old perched upon its back. Those who witnessed the event spoke to many of the scribes, recording the encounter in their tomes. Lord Cyntia, I thank you for your learning, Raegar spoke, still mounted upon the dragon, rubbing his hands along its back. Though I believe it's best you and your family left this isle, and granted me what shall be mine by blood of old Valyria. You petulant boy, the Lord spoke. That beast is still a babe, and you still a boy who needs to know better in his life. I am the blood of Valyria, it courses through me, and it was they who sent me to sit upon this seat, and they who lit your descendants wash out our boots and watch our growth. I've grown tired of your family's blood. Go on, it seems the Lord had more to say, but no chance to say it. The boy did not even command it, yet his beast opened its jaw and shot forth a horrifying array of pure fire, which melted Lord Danis in that very spot, leaving behind naught but ash and cinder in its path. From that day, Lord Raegar Cynder took his place at the seat of Elyria, claiming the Valyrian Isle for his own. Those beasts were still not truly tamed and held no dragon pits to care for it. Though as time, the two would come to be more than just a wild, shaggy beast and a rider, as the blood of Elyria old connected them. Nonetheless, the people would fear him, for who would not fear a man with a dragon on his own? Especially when such beasts had laid waste to the so-called kings of Westeros, and placed upon their throne a new king. Some believed that Lord Raegar could do the same. He could be the Lord of the Ashes, to rebirth Elyria, to bring together a new age, that this young dragon was a sign that things could still be born from those horrid wastes. A young dragon, born from a century of blood. Others believed this was a sign of the end, that Lord Danis' death had come from an ill-tempered boy riding an ill-trained dragon. All it would take was one ill-fated move and the entire Isle of Elyria could burn in dragon smoke. Such people fled the Isle, heading to Tolos or to any of the cities in Slaver's Bay. Those who remained found themselves captivated by the young Lord Raegar, a man with a way with words that could not be denied, even if the skill of battles were lost on him. But who needed a battle when you had a beast of fire and blood? From a small isle in Slaver's Bay, we shall claim the world. Hello everybody and welcome to Crusader Kings 2, a Game of Thrones, where we will be playing as Lord Raegar Cynder of Elyria, a man who has claimed his right through his dragon majesty, a nimble beast, and a interesting aspect to this campaign. That's right, we are not only not playing in Westeros, we are playing in the time of the Conqueror. Aegon sits upon, currently not the Iron Throne, but the Iron Throne is being made for his new capital in the Aegon Fort. The Iron Throne, of course, uniting the realms other than Dawn. Dawn is still independent. And the three cities standing there in interesting spots, and Marine and the Slaver cities stand just on our side. So we're a bit disconnected from the usual world of Game of Thrones. That doesn't mean we won't be interacting with Westeros. I imagine there'll be much interaction with Westeros, but for now we will be focusing on these regions. It has been a while since my last video. I could list a whole bunch of reasons, but mainly it came down to a bit of tiredness and a bit of a few problems which have now all been resolved. So we are returning and we are back, and with this return I am opening up a Patreon. A few people have mentioned that they'd be interested in supporting me. I'm not expecting anyone to really, but there will be the next video of this series, which will be obviously a weekly series, is already up on the Patreon, and every video will be up a week earlier on the Patreon. So episode 2 is already up on the Patreon, and episode 3 will be up when episode 2 is uploaded to YouTube, so on and so forth, at least for this campaign. I have other campaigns planned. As you guys know, Ninepenny Kings has come out for Crusader Kings 3, which is very exciting. It's a time period I think it's an easy first step to them to take compared to going all the way back to Dance of the Dragons or the like. But it is still a very fun time period, which I have a lot of ideas for. But I want to focus on our boy, Raegar Cynder. So not only does he have a dragon, he is the only of his blood. Obviously the game doesn't let me put parents. I could have got a sub mod, but it doesn't really work with the other mods. He is the first of his name, so to speak, as the Lord of Elyria. An independent isle which once wore fealty to as a freehold of Valyria, but as Valyria falls, we find ourselves within the ashes, so we can have a chance to make something of ourselves. So right away we want to be picking ambitions to get married, because that's the easy one to do, and I think I'll actually start with family, just because we want to lay the seed, so to speak, of a large family. And I want to be looking for, yes, this is what I'm looking for, Essosi Valyrians. Ooh, 13. Not good stats, but none of them have great stats, and soon she'll be of age. So I think that is a marriage we will go for. We'll get ourselves our council. The good thing about this game is having a dragon is not many other people do. At this time period, the only dragons around would be the likes of Balerion. In fact, we can use the list to actually take a look. So let's take a look. Show me the dragons. Yes, it is Balerion, Meraxes, Raegar, and Majesty. And Quicksilver is untamed. They should be like 0, right? They are. Yes, they're 0, and they are currently in Cracklaw. Well, we got some very interesting situations across all of the world to take a look at, as those dragons are sure to have many eggs, which I'm sure will hatch and spread, for this is a time still of much magic in the world, and much blood of the dragon runs throughout. We have the blood of the dragon in us, it's why we are able to tame Majesty, but that blood dies with us, so we need to look at our way across the world. We've sat somewhat idle for a few years, let ourselves gain wealth, but we are not going to be earning much money just on this isle, even though this is an amazing capital. So I think we're going to be looking at expanding into these lands, because everything else here, all the way up from Angagora here, is all ruins. But thanks to Recolonizable Valyria mod, piece by piece we can rebuild all of this. It'll be very expensive, but we can indeed restore Valyria across generations and generations and generations and generations. This is definitely not going to be a task for Lord Raegar. His eyes are probably mostly going to be in this area. Even Borashir is a ruin, but other than that, Marine, Yunkai, Astropor, Gis are all very wealthy regions to be looking at. But our first eyes will be immediately a war on Tolos. Because Tolos here is sort of our gateway to the world at large. So we need to be establishing a foothold in Old Valyria. And we're lucky we have the pieces to immediately get to work on that. And let's see if I can be doing anything good with my core. As you can see, I'll give you a little rundown of Lord Raegar. We're Lord Raegar, very good in all his stats due to his quick mind here. An attractive figure, and of course a dragon rider, which gives him all sorts of things, including his martial bonus. Not a good socializer, because he just flat out is not. He is a... Well, sorry, no, a very good socializer. I don't say not a good socializer, a very good socializer, sorry, because he just naturally is. His skill is with talk. He's a very charismatic person, aged only 21. Temperate and wrathful, so not likely to be hatching any dragons, but he already has one. And authoritative, which actually doubles his dragon chance. Actually, no, he's very good at hatching dragons. I forget these two sort of counter each other out. And of course, we get extra levies, but more importantly, we have this Blood of Valyria, which here gives you national revolt risk, but overall it makes you healthier. It counters a lot of illnesses and diseases. Alright, we are in command. Right, we want a quick and decisive, hopefully, battle against Tolos here, because there's a chance that, like, right now they're going to call him Antares. Yeah, they've joined a coalition for it. Like, these coalitions are very, very difficult to manage, but they basically just always happen. You should just always assume it's going to end in a coalition, because you just can't stop it from ending in one. We need to take up this army before this army can help us. I think that's the only way we can get any sort of early advantage against these armies here. But they're really close to joining. We're going to be really skirting it here. That's a good victory, and immediately into the next battle. Oh, but that the dragon morale is just so good. For absolutely splintering them. And then a third army's coming? Surely it's not full 6,000. No, it's I was going to say it's just a second splitter army. Right, let us deploy a dragon. Oh, and of course recruit a court physician. Dracarys. Ah! Oh, they've wounded Madame Dragon. Poor boy. Oh dear. Gotta hope that fades. 6,000 of Tolos coming to fight us. And I don't see the Mantalos army. Nope, there they are. Okay. I think this is going to be a war loss. There's no way we're going to be able to fight both of these. Oh, unless we completely destroy the first army before the second arrives. Oh my goodness. Okay, maybe we have a chance of actually getting a siege on this castle done then. We are getting very lucky. Ah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Majesty is feeling all good. We'll just deploy them again. He's not here. Oof. Oh, but we have won the war. We have won the war. Put his Hammerly in house arrest, and we shall take a piece. Oh, I really feel we got lucky at points there. That was a tough one. That is not what would be expected, but we will take it. We will definitely take it. My lord, news from the Red Keeper for trial by combat. Marla Sunderland chose Stefan Sunderland as a champion. He was defeated by Targaryen. Well, Aegon fought it himself. I think they call that based. My courtier wishes to get married. Let's see if I have any good options for him. I'm not sure. I will find you someone nice. How about her? Now, I imagine I've got a treaty with... I have his wife, but I also have a treaty with him, so I can't revoke his title for another... How long's the truce? 10 years. Okay. I have no piety as well. Gotta wait to get that back. You should pay 10 gold for your wife. Very well. We'll look at Mantalis for a future conspiracy, because there's basically no one who can join in a coalition with them other than the Harrow, who won't do that because they're an empire title with a different culture. Also, not a big threat because they're 5k horde. I don't think they would do much against the dragon. I do want to see if I can revoke the Black Cliffs, because the Black Cliffs aren't great, but right now I'm earning very little money because I only hold Elyria. Okay, let's give it a go. Let's see if he'll accept. And also, let's get married. There you go, she's 14, which allows us to get married, because clearly that's the age it should be allowed to happen. I'm gonna wait a moment, because if he goes to war, then I'll pick the win and war option. Do I want the prestige, or I'll see if he'll pay a dowry. Yeah, okay. He's gonna rise against me. It's okay, we will raise our men in the capital. And we shall pick an ambition to win the war. Let's get our ships up as well. Gonna need to get even my vassals' ships, it seems, because a lot of my ships seem to have been damaged in war, even though they weren't. Okay, the customary dowry, which I'll definitely take, because I'm immediately going to be losing money again, right? Or I'm soon to be losing money. There we go, just land directly on them with a dragon. And then let's move and take out both armies before... Just completely crush the morale of both armies, and then we'll do some sieges on Black Cliffs. If this breaks my treaty with Tolos, I'll also revoke his. Or I think if he's imprisoned, I'm allowed to revoke his. So I may keep fighting to see if I can imprison him, because I really want all of these regions, and I know that these two are never going to be loyal to me. We're the same religion, but, you know, different culture. They're Tolosi. And no, they're both Tolosi. So it's ideal for us to sort of get both of them out of power. And we'll deploy our dragon in a siege again. If you've got a dragon, you've got to use them. Rumours of a traitor working with the besiegers has eroded the morale of the defenders of the Black Cliffs. We shall imprison him. But we're not going to be done there, because we're also going to see if we can imprison the Lord of Tolos. Who's his heir? Does he have a son? No, his heir is... Oh, it is his son. I was looking on the wrong page. That's why. Dracarys. Ah. Maybe I gotta be a little careful, because I keep wounding the boy. He's not made for this. Let's quickly split the army. I'll take the king, or the lords, 693. Beat out these defenders on the Black Cliffs. Or if Shy has a chance of losing it, or... Because Shy's not great right now. It's literally a full negative with no bonuses to it. We'll pray. Seem to work. If I can get this Lord of Thos, I'm fairly certain. Even if I can't directly revoke it from him, I will execute him. Just so maybe I can deal with things in Tolos. No, we are a high Valyrian. We are, or at least we see ourselves as far beyond these beneath us. Every 12 days they are losing more and more men. Very good. My courtier wishes to get married. I'll find her someone. Let's see who we can find. I can get her married to an... Congratulations, I'm getting you married to a bloody Archon. I should get thanks for that, surely. Although it doesn't mean she leaves my court. You can marry as you please. Okay, I won't be able to win the siege anyway then. It looks like he may have eluded me. Very least we'll just wipe out the last of these men. Just as I want a sort of total victory to showcase myself as a ruler. Right, we shall offer you peace, enforce our demands, and let our army rest. As the Black Cliffs shall be ours, as your title shall be revoked. Okay, obviously it's been looted, but pretty good region. What I want to build is I want to build a dragon pit. If you have a dragon, you should be going for a dragon pit, but the problem is the price. We're looking at 687 gold. It's very, very expensive. New ambition. I think I want to get my combat ability up. It's only 10. Like, as soon as I'm off my dragon, I'm a terrible fighter. Okay, we'll wait on your treaty to end, or maybe we could plot to kill you. He wouldn't pay 10 gold for his wife. That's really something, isn't it? We'll see if we can plot to kill him. I could send for... Oh, I can found a new kingdom. It'll cost 200 gold. But give me... I mean, surely I have to, right? We want to be a kingdom. I assume that this... What was the conditions for this? Or just 2 duchy titles. I guess Tolos is a duchy title and then Elyria must be a duchy title. Oh, that's all we need. Sure. House Cynder are the rightful kings of Elyria. Well, I wouldn't say no to that. Oh, and my wife Elena. Oh, and that's what I say. Is she gonna get? Yes, she will get a crown as well. Let's okay, she's not of age to have her opinion approved. Yeah, I was about to say. I definitely want to be ambitious. It's a great trait. I feel... Okay, she's still having inner education focus. So when we can increase relations, we will. Because obviously we want to have many children, if possible. Our colour has changed. Oh, I like this colour. Let's see if we can... I don't know what trade port we're attacking, but there's nothing wrong with attacking a trade port. Especially when it gives you prestige. Thank you, sir. It's always morally correct to attack trade ports. A daughter was born to... Oh, the guy I got married. I don't know what happened to your wife. Oh, she got sick and now she's better. Okay. Well, I mean, she got better. I don't know if she looks better. She still looks like she's the villain in, like, the new Dune book. Because by new Dune book, I mean specifically one written by the son. Can hold a feast. I know it was a bit of gold, but I'd actually like to host a feast. Celebrate my reign as king. I will spend a decent bit on food. I bet he's going to say no, but everyone else will say yes. Feasts are very expensive in this game. Arguably, just because of how... I don't know if they got... They definitely did these, right? I guess I'm doing them again. Let's see if we can train some troops in Elyria, collect taxes in Elyria. No, I'm not lustful, so I'm not going to be sleeping around that much. A habit for wild parties. Either a curfews or there's nothing I can do. She's getting charitable. That's good. Oh, and a lot of people came to my feast. I thought I was a hated ruler. But apparently when you have a dragon, if somebody yells, "Come to my feast," you're kind of like, "Ugh." Is this my... yeah, my court position. I could visit her chamber as well. Yeah, make it a house arrest. Move to dungeon cell for an oubliette. Exile. Release. I mean, in general, she doesn't seem like a great... But she is a mystic. I don't know. She's Dothraki and a mystic, so she is a good court physician. I'll release her. If she stays my court physician, I can reappoint her. Okay. King Aegon. He's been... Why did... Oh, because he must have been the Master of Laws. Oh, so he has got Dawn. Why is it... Oh, because I'm on the Disney map. I was about to say, why am I confused? Dawn actually has been conquered. Wow. Danis of Dawn. That is an interesting marriage for... Okay, so she's not great. She's an add-on, so let's improve. I mean, she's already 94, but we'll keep improving to see if we can have our child. Especially since you never know who's going to be out to get us. Especially when we have men like him. Rip. I have a plot to kill him, but it's not going great. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Come to my plot. Hey you, come to my plot. Why don't you come to my plot? Wow, so many people would come to my plot. Let's... Yeah, we'll dedicate the festival to my wife. Do I want 600 gold to... Do I want 600 gold to pay for my... Wonderful. 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 Oh, this is looking great. Anyone else want in? Okay. I would love to have the money for the Dragon Pit, but I also feel like... Lose a bit of piety. Now I am lustful. Because the problem would be... If I die, I believe without the Dragon Pit, that Majesty may just fly away. Obviously, I could keep trying to tame her again. Oh, I'm respected. That's nice. But the problem in general is I want to keep Majesty, so I may need to find a way to finance a Dragon Pit. It may not be up to 11k. That's wonderful. Need more ships though. It may not be through just gold. Yeah, we can stop swaying here. It may be that we need a loan or that we need to do favours to get the money, but we'll find a way to get that money. Eventually, at least. So yeah, this has 2,000 men max as well, so 11k total men for me. And then here, Tolos has 8,000, so if I can directly own Tolos, I'm looking at a huge... Yeah, he has no vassals, I can retract. My Master at Arms... I can marry you to this 16-year-old, or 18-year-old. And make him happy or make him like me. In prison. A new bank has been established in Old Volantis. Triarch Aenar Panera of Volantis has used his wealth to found the Bank of Roim, and has built a grand new bank building in the city to house vaults of coin. New bank is ready to issue loans. Old Volantis is a very interesting place. Obviously, Great Plaza here, which is owned by the Faith, the Temple of the Lord of the Light. My daughter. I believe she isn't my heir, just because I believe my realm, with name Visenya, my realm would only allow a man to inherit, so hopefully we have a son. Old Volantis is really interesting. It's built behind these black walls of Dragonstone, where only those who can sort of prove that their ancestry dates back to the Valyrians would have access beyond these walls. See, have a look at this in a moment. I have to end my tangent on Old Volantis first. And with these walls, which are built on these black walls, outside of them, the whole sort of place has fallen to sin and debauchery, with there being like 5 times as many slaves as there are freemen. And so this whole region is rife for rebellion. In the books, I believe the Red Priest basically literally tells Dany that, hey, we're ready to revolt. So, or tells Tyrion to tell Dany that they're ready to revolt. Let us see. So he can either get crazed. There's a 50% chance of... Oh no, it's a 50% chance of losing craze instead of getting playful or affectionate. Playful's pretty good, but the personal combat skills dropped. So craze actually just lowers the taming chance, which I don't think is that bad. I'm still gonna give this one a try just to see. What did it give him? Playful. Lowers his combat skill by a lot, actually. Basically removes all he got from Nimble. Oh, but his Dragon Egg chance goes up, so there's a good chance he could have Dragon Eggs. That's great. Change childhood focus to faith. Why could you change a dragon's childhood focus? That is such a weird... no. Why am I... Okay, good. I hear if you are like a crazed, you can actually give land to dragons, but it like glitches the game out, so I'm not going to be doing that. My Storm Sieger has secluded himself. Oh, because of the plague. The plagues are in CK3 now, and they are kind of suck. And it's broken out my capital as well. Am I able to seclude myself? Let's close the gates for a little bit. I'm always going to pick the option that gives me party, because I see no reason there. There's nothing really wrong with house arrest. That makes him happy, so it's worth doing. Yes, it's the Grey Plague. Who? Why? I wouldn't be worried about the Grey Plague. I'd be worrying about the Is the Grey Plague what's giving us Stone Skin? Because they are called Grey Men. It is. So I didn't realize it spread like a plague. I thought it was just a normal illness. If this spreads like a plague, this could literally wipe me out. Like, throw her out. This isn't the Grey Plague. This is the Grey Death. I mean, it's because the whole thing is that in Volantis they sort of fix it, so to speak, by literally just sending them up the River Royne and throwing them away to the Hells and leaving them. If you were to institute a process of apothecaries, the health of your subjects was improved significantly. Sure. It's a bit expensive, but prosperity is always really, really good to get. We are flourishing. You can see just all the good it gives you. The problem is that the disease resistance goes down when you're flourishing, but the build time is what I'm looking at. Even though I'm not actually building right now because of not having gold. A coalition against a common enemy. Oh, he's just asking for an alliance. What? Huh? Pentos and Bravos want an alliance with Elyria. Lads, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know what I'm gonna be doing for you here. I feel like this is a bit of a gap. Have you maybe get Volantis in first before you get me in, you know? Guess I'm gonna have to drop his opinion of me. Unfortunate. He's incapable. Or non-human. He could be a goat. And do I have the slave owner trait? I thought I was going to say, do I? Yes, I do. Because there are slave pits in Tolos, and there is, I think, one in Elyria? Yeah, a small slave camp in Elyria. Let's build some barracks, spend a bit of gold. The aim will be to get a dragon pit before I'm gone. And I'm sure, you know, this as I've mentioned, this is roleplay, not just a full story. So, I mean, yeah, it's all about a story more than anything. And if that story involves having to perhaps go to war for the coin or do favors for the coin, then we will do so. We will do exactly that. But the main thing is that we are going to have to be doing, like, we're going to be relying on things more than just the game for coin. Because each one of these costs 1,000 gold. And then in addition, they also have events within them that cost 1,000 gold. Like, plus. So these things are super, 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 super expensive to pay for. And we are going to want all of them. So you can see the problem, right? My Singer is still secluding themselves. Yeah, everyone's secluded. And my Stormsinger is dead. I mean, when you get the Grey Plague, it probably is not going to be much longer left for you. Unfortunately. It looks like it's already faded in Tolos. Yeah, it's slowly fading. Okay, so hopefully it will fade soon on the island as well. Marginal slave labour, so it just increases your revolt risk while giving you, like, it's pretty good bonuses for having it. Burns land. Listen, sometimes you need a dragon, okay? Summer Sea Traders. Oh, did he die? Can I revoke from you? Oh, you'll say no! Oh, well, lads, this is a problem. He's got 300 men. And he'll say no? Let's see how this goes for him. I don't even think I need to raise my full army. How many do I have? See, if I lead this army, I already had more men than him. Oh, I'm secluded, so I can't. Let's open up the gate so I can. And then we'll have this led by Alias. Kaboom! Let us get these ships up. Why are my ships not rebuilding? Maybe I'm missing something, but my ships are not restoring. Which is not great news for me. Okay, his army just never even rose up. Alright, we'll take Tolos then. Oh no, his army did rise. It's 13 men. Heading for my capital. Yeah, it looks like the plague has left my capital as well. And we got rid of him. Lord Erenar the Rash died under mysterious circumstances. Well, I think Tolos won't last much longer, no matter the Lord upon it. Let's split. We'll just take the dragon with us. Wipe out the army here. And then you get back on board. And get back to leading the siege. We shall have Tolos as well. Why is he gaining war score? From holding his... Yeah, they're being sieged though. I don't think that should count. I guess I'm going to need to use a bit of Dragonfire then. We won't be holding this for long. Oh, what? I've changed my armor now. I'm wearing a nice red cape. I look a bit like Aegon. with that sort of red cape. And look at my wife, dressed fantastically as well. But what's Aegon up to? He's not at war, and yet the Trident is independent. Is the Trident at war? Okay, they were. Maybe they'll go back into the Iron Throne after that. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's best to just not look at it. I am rapidly losing money. Is the problem with this war right now. And I can enforce demands. I was gonna say, surely I can enforce demands and get my money back, because anytime my army is up, I am not making money. I will revoke his title. We have a truce. It's a new. The whole thing was a revoke war. How do I not have a special reason? Oh, because the. You're gonna hate me. I think I'm allowed to use a console command to take Tolos here, because this is kind of a bit stupid. My own murder plan worked against me there by game mechanics, but it doesn't make sense that a new truce would prevent me from taking that land when it was a revoke war in the first place. So what we will do is we will be ending the session here. I will be giving myself Tolos, and I will see if I can speak to other lords who may want to fund my dragon pit, whether that be by force or otherwise. But once we have Tolos, we will hopefully have a new income stream, which we can actually afford to have our army raised. Either way, I hope you guys have enjoyed this first episode. I certainly have. And I'm looking forward to playing some more CK2 for you guys, as well as got some CK3 on the way. And as I say, episode 2 will be up on the Patreon already. If you guys check out my Patreon, it will be linked in the description and on the end screen. You guys can take a look, and if you want to support me, you will have access to next week's video nice and early every week, as well as possibly other content from time to time, or polls and questions, that sort of thing. Thank you guys so much. I've really enjoyed this game so far, and I so look forward to where this series is gonna go. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Until then.